Record-breaking tropical cyclones, derechos, and now major wildfire issues across the western US as our busy summer in the United States in 2024 continues. Want to start out with today's video by taking a look at where all of the wildfires are right now across the United States. And you can see that most of them are situated in states like California, Oregon, Washington, but also are active in parts of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and Arizona as well, and a lot of wildfires once again up across parts of the Canadian prairies in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and up towards British Columbia. Right now, if we take a look at where we're situated in the United States in terms of wildfire activity, we have 88 total fires active and 1.9 million acres currently experiencing wildfire issues. The state with the most fires right now is actually not California. It's actually Oregon with 1.1 million acres currently burning with these wildfire issues across parts of Oregon. Part of this is due to the recent dry stretch that we've been dealing with. The past 30 days, parts of Washington, Oregon, and California have seen no precipitation. And the areas that actually did see rain saw very light rain, with the more active pattern having set up across central parts of the United States and the southeastern part of the country. We look at the last 60 days, parts of Oregon, parts of Washington, parts of California, 0 to 25% of the normal rainfall. So many of these areas experiencing wildfire issues have really had a lack of rainfall as we've gone throughout the hottest part of the season so far. We take a look at how things may evolve as we move forward the next 10 days. We do have a little bit of a cold front in the short term going to cool those temperatures down, but not bringing a lot of precipitation. Heavier rains will be situated more up into the mountainous regions across parts of northwest Washington and then into southwestern parts of Canada, southeast Washington, much of Oregon, northern California. Some light rain in there for you, but not a whole lot to bring relief and put an end to the massive amount of wildfires that are ongoing right now across the region. Along with that, while this cold front will bring some cooler temperatures, it's also going to bring wind. As we look into tonight and into tomorrow, could be dealing with some wind gusts across the area of 30 to locally 40 miles per hour. Certainly could be a concern that these wildfires will continue to spread and burn more acres over the next few days, even with the cooler temperatures, just because of how windy it's going to be. The wind will allow the fire to spread. Without much moisture, there won't be a whole lot to stop that from happening over the next few days. Taking a look at where the smoke is going to go from this. This was a big story last year. Canadian wildfire smoke up into central parts of Canada spread southward across the United States. We had an unusual setup last year where the prevailing wind aloft in the atmosphere was more out of the north for a lot of last summer, and it allowed that Canadian wildfire smoke to work much further south than normal. It's not something that's necessarily new. We just had an odd combination last year that led to a lot of persistent wildfire smoke and low air quality across parts of the eastern United States. We don't have quite the same setup this year, but the winds coming more from the southwest to west in the western US and pushing off to the east will allow for a lot of smoke to bleed into parts of the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and eventually the Ohio Valley as we go throughout this week. At times, you're going to see hazy skies and perhaps some lower air quality, though it doesn't quite look to the extent of what we dealt with at times last year. You can also see on this animation, you can actually see the weather model data trying to actually pick up on new fires and associated smoke developing across parts of the western portion of the country as we work into tomorrow and into Wednesday of this week. In terms of temperatures moving forward, again, not too hot the next few days, but the 90s and the 100s return as we work into Thursday and into Friday with low 100s to near 105 degrees possible across parts of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho for Friday, with more record-breaking heat possible Friday and into your weekend across these regions. Given the lack of rainfall ahead, many areas as we work into the extended range still going to be anywhere from 5 to 25% of the normal rainfall. Wildfire issues likely continue to be a big concern over the next several weeks across the western part of the country, especially for parts of Washington, Idaho, Oregon, and California.